In the heart of late 18th century India, a story unfolded that would defy the conventions of two mighty empires. This isn't just a tale of history. It's a story of love, sacrifice, and a clash of civilizations, centered around a British officer who risked everything for the woman he loved. This is the incredible story of James Achilles, Kirkpatrick, and Khairun-Nissa. Imagine Hyderabad in 1798. It's a dazzling city, the capital of a powerful Deccan kingdom, a place of immense wealth, culture, and political intrigue. Into this vibrant world steps our protagonist, James Kirkpatrick. He's not just any officer. He's the British resident, the official representative of the East India Company. At just 33, he's ambitious, charismatic, and a master of diplomacy. His job is to protect British interests, to navigate the complex court of the Nizam of Hyderabad, and to project the power of the burgeoning British Empire. He lived in a magnificent Palladian-style residency, a symbol of British authority. He was, by all accounts, a man on the rise, a success story of the company. But destiny, as it so often does, had a very different plan for him. One day, while navigating the intricate social circles of the Hyderabadi court, James's eyes fell upon Khairun-Nissa. Her name means most excellent among women, and by all accounts, she was the granddaughter of the Nizam's chief minister, a young noblewoman of just 14, raised in the seclusion of the Zanana, the women's quarters. She was beautiful, intelligent, and from a lineage of immense power and prestige. The attraction was immediate and magnetic. For James, she was more than just a beautiful face. She was a window into a world he was fascinated by, the rich, ancient culture of India. For Khairun-Nissa, this tall, confident foreigner represented a world beyond the cloistered walls of her upbringing. But their budding affection was a dangerous secret. In an era of strict social and racial segregation, a relationship between a high-ranking British official and a Muslim noblewoman was not just frowned upon, it was unthinkable. Their love story began in secret, with clandestine meetings and messages passed through trusted servants. It was a romance straight out of a novel, filled with risk and whispered promises. But as their feelings deepened, they knew that a life of secret glances and stolen moments was not enough. They wanted a life together, openly and honestly, and that would require a sacrifice of epic proportions. The biggest obstacle was not just society, but faith. Khairun-Nissa's family, devout and powerful, would never allow her to marry a Christian, an infidel in their eyes. For their love to be sanctioned, for it to be real in the eyes of her world, James had to bridge the gap between their two faiths. This is where our story takes its most dramatic turn. James Kirkpatrick, the embodiment of British power, began a journey of spiritual transformation. He started by immersing himself in Indian culture. He was already a gifted linguist, fluent in Persian and Hindustani, the languages of the court. He adopted local customs, smoked a hookah, and even began to dress in Mughal-style attire. The British called this going native, and it was a source of deep suspicion and derision among his colleagues. They saw it as a betrayal, a weakening of his British identity. But for James, it was an act of love. He was trying to understand and embrace Khairun-Nissa's world. His transformation culminated in the most radical step of all, his conversion to Islam. Under the guidance of a Shia cleric, James secretly embraced the faith of his beloved. He took on a new name, Hashmat, which translates to valiant in battle. This was not a decision made lightly. It was a profound spiritual commitment, but also a monumental political gamble. If his superiors in the East India Company found out, his career would be over in an instant. With this ultimate act of devotion, he approached Khairun-Nissa's family. He had proven his love. He had embraced their faith and their culture. Seeing his sincerity and his willingness to sacrifice everything, her mother and grandmother finally gave their consent. They saw in him not a foreign conqueror, but a man worthy of their daughter. In the year 1800, James Kirkpatrick and Khairun-Nissa were married in a traditional Islamic ceremony. It was a private affair, but a deeply symbolic one. He, in his Mughal finery, and she, a radiant bride, sealed a union that defied the expectations of two worlds. He built a beautiful zanana, a private palace, for her within the grounds of the British Residency, a bridge between their two lives. Their marriage, however, was a secret that couldn't be kept forever. When news of the union and his conversion finally reached the highest echelons of British power, the reaction was explosive. The Governor-General of India, Lord Wellesley, a man who believed firmly in British superiority, was outraged. He saw Kirkpatrick's actions as a catastrophic breach of protocol and a threat to British prestige. An official inquiry was launched. The scandal was not confined to the British. The Hyderabad court was also in turmoil. While Khairun-Nissa's immediate family had accepted the marriage, many in the elite were deeply uncomfortable. A Muslim noblewoman marrying a Farangi, a foreigner, even one who had converted, was a blow to their pride. The couple found themselves isolated, caught in a storm of their own making, criticized and ostracized by both sides. Despite the controversy, for a few short years, James and Khairun-Nissa found a private happiness. They built a life together, a unique blend of East and West. They had two children, a son named Mia Ghulam Ali Sahib Alam and a daughter named Nur-e-Nisa Sahib Begum. In their home, languages, cultures and traditions mingled freely. Their children were living symbols of their improbable love. But tragedy was lurking just around the corner. The relentless pressure from the East India Company took its toll. James's health began to fail. In 1805, under the pretense of a diplomatic mission, he was effectively recalled to Calcutta to answer for his conduct. He was gravely ill, and he knew he might not return. Before he left, he said a final, heartbreaking goodbye to his wife and children. He never saw them again. James Achilles Kirkpatrick, the man who became Hashmat Jung, died in Calcutta at the age of 41. His dreams of a life with Khairun-Nissa were cut short. The fate of his family is a poignant end to this story. After James's death, Khairun-Nissa, still just a young woman, was left in a vulnerable position. She eventually remarried, but her heart was broken. Their children were taken from her and sent to England to be raised by James's family. They were given English names, William and Kitty, and brought up as conventional Christians. Their Indian heritage, their mother and their father's incredible story were all but erased from their new lives. They never saw their mother again. The story of James and Khairun-Nissa is a powerful reminder of a time when the boundaries between cultures were both rigid and surprisingly fluid. It's a story that was largely forgotten, buried by the scandal it caused. It challenges our simple narratives of colonial conquerors and their subjects, showing us a far more complex, personal, and human picture. It is a testament to the power of love to transcend a world of prejudice and division. James Kirkpatrick didn't just cross a border, he tried to erase it, building a bridge of love, faith, and mutual respect. Though their union was short-lived and ended in tragedy, their story endures as a beautiful, controversial, and deeply moving chapter in the shared history of Britain and India. Thank you so much for joining me on this journey into the past. If you found this story as fascinating as I do, please hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and ring the bell so you don't miss our next exploration of hidden histories. Let me know in the comments what you think about this incredible love story. Until next time, stay curious.